What's up guys, Enkiri here. And I'm sure all of you guys have seen my recent video where I critique Gregory O'Gallagher, aka Kino Body's craptastic leg training advice. Now, for all the idiocy he spewed about as if it was fact, and there was definitely a lot of it, I think to me one of the most ridiculous things Greg said in that video was that having big quads is a feminine trait. And I'm not here to discuss how stupid that statement was because I've already done that to death. But what I do want to talk about is kind of the reaction to that statement that was echoed many times in the comment section of my video. And actually, I'm not afraid to admit that I was somewhat taken aback by it. See, I expected plenty of people to disagree with what I was saying in the video, and especially to come to old Greggy's defense just because they want to make out with him or whatever. But what I didn't expect was for hordes of people to actually agree and publicly state that big legs like I have do in fact give off a feminine appearance. Now, as generally sane people who are subscribed to this channel and watching this video, let's all just disregard that statement for now because it's obviously complete and total nonsense, and in no permutation of reality does anyone with two brain cells to rub together actually think that big legs look feminine. But to me, the crux of this whole thing is really the performance versus aesthetics debate. Because even though I advertise that I train essentially solely for performance right there in the video, and I displayed pretty convincingly right there in the video that my legs are far stronger and far more powerful than his, not only did I still have people commenting to tell me that my legs are unathletic and dysfunctional and blah blah blah, but also that they're hideous, not proportional, not aesthetic, and whatever else, I can't remember. But there were plenty of comments all along those same lines, echoing those same sentiments. And here's the thing, I really have a negative number of fucks to give about what anyone thinks that my legs look like in terms of aesthetics or proportions or anything like that. My problem with all the comments like that is that they're ignoring the crucial difference between myself and the proponents of this idiotic aesthetics movement. And that is, when you train for aesthetics, whatever the fuck that means anyway, because it's purely subjective, but let's ignore that part. But when you train for aesthetics, everything you do in the gym is in the name of looking good, right? Anything that occurs other than looking good will be considered an auxiliary benefit, a side effect, always secondary in importance to looking good. And this often tends to lead to some questionable training choices, but never mind that. On the other hand, when you train for performance, everything you do in the gym is in the name of getting better by some objective parameter or another. More weight on the bar, more speed on your sprints, higher jumps, better conditioning, whatever. You can call it training like an athlete if you want, it doesn't matter. All you have to understand is that life is measured in objective terms. You either get better or you don't, and the external adaptations visible to everyone else that your body undergoes as a result of that are secondary in importance to you. If you improve your physical capacities, then who cares if your legs got bigger or not? The only thing that really matters is if you can squat more weight or jump higher. Now, I would be lying to you if I said I don't care at all about how I look. Everyone who lifts cares to some degree how they look, and they're simply bullshitting you if they tell you otherwise. It's like the weight training version of the Kinsey scale. We're all at least a little bit gay, whether we want to admit it or not. The question is merely one of extent. But for me, how my body looks has simply never been enough of a motivating factor to get me to put in the hard work day in and day out that's required to really make good progress in the gym. Coming from an athletic background, the only thing that has ever been able to motivate me to put in the work has been the thought of improving my physical performance, becoming stronger and faster, more powerful and more agile, and just physically better overall. And every piece of how my body looks now is a result of that training, from my hideously large thighs to my year-round relatively lean state. All these factors aid in or improve my performance in some way, and obviously that includes having put on a lot of muscle onto my frame over the years as well, because that's a huge part of becoming more physically adept. But the composition of that muscle, where I put it on my body, and the resulting aesthetics of that was never a huge concern for me. As long as I got stronger and faster, then the ends justified the means, and looking better was simply a pleasant side effect of the whole process. So let me ask you a legitimate question. Who is actually the feminine one here? The dude whose entire training career has revolved around improving performance, whose body and muscle distribution represent the culmination of thousands of adaptations, all geared towards becoming stronger, faster, more powerful, and more conditioned, and just overall better and more physically capable? Or the crew of new age motherfucking ziz wannabes who are so worried about fitting into their skinny jeans that they refuse to do squats, even though ultimately as natty lifters, burning off a lot of calories through tough squat sessions and building slabs of muscle in the thighs is going to make it way easier to stay effortlessly lean in the long run, which is part of being aesthetic. But I guess they'd rather starve themselves to get lean than work hard. The guys who are obsessed about having a big chest at the expense of everything else, which is legitimately a feminine trait, mind you, and literally only gets you adoration from dudes. Then whether or not they can run fast or move well or do something actually useful with their bodies, the ones who piss and moan on and on about making sure their calves are proportional to their thighs, which is a waste of fucking time because training the calves in the gym is literally worthless. And that their lower body is proportional to their upper body, and they have to look like a Greek god. Never mind the fact that they have laughable looking twiggy ass legs, and my little sister could fucking run right through them. I bet you Hercules didn't get run over by little girls. I'm gonna go out on a big limb here and suggest that historically, men have sought and prioritized functionality, making decisions with little hesitation, and just in general, getting shit done. Not obsessively dwelling about how other people feel about something or how pretty they think something is. If you present me with a problem, I'm not gonna try to empathize with you. I'm gonna try to solve it. I don't care what the food that you put in front of me looks like. I only care if it's healthy and nutritious and tastes fucking delicious. And I don't give two flying fucks about whether or not my calves are proportional to my quads. And if I've grown a pair of big enough tits yet or not, because that doesn't make me a more functional human being and it doesn't help me get shit done. And I know some asshat is gonna chime in just to say, we don't need to be functional anymore, Alec, because in case you haven't heard, it's the 21st century and life is easy now, blah, blah, blah. And fuck you. Because one, fuck that mindset. We're all headed for fucking Walmart motor scooters with that moronic mindset. And two, even if that sentiment were 100% true, which it's not, because my strength and athleticism have been incredibly useful in the real world for both myself and others many times over the course of my life. But even if it were 100% true, it's still irrelevant because the evolutionary trait that is hardwired in men to seek out and value functionality over how pretty something looks, how something performs rather than how it looks, is still present in your biology because evolution doesn't work that fast. And when you come at me to tell me you just want to look pretty and you don't care about what kind of tasks your body is capable of doing, I genuinely have to wonder if your mom fed you her birth control pills when you were growing up. Anyway, I think I've made my point by now, so I just want to end this on a serious note. All you pussies who are so worried about your legs getting too big, two things. One, it's not gonna happen because you'll never put in the amount of work that's required for it. Trust me. So you can stop worrying. And please, stop letting Alpha Destiny and Kino Body pull the wool over your fucking eyes to compensate for their own shortcomings. While in the meantime, you miss out on some of the most rewarding and productive work you can do in the gym. That in the long run, for you, as a natural lifter, is actually gonna have the greatest impact on your physique and body composition. And two, stop wearing those goddamn skinny jeans. You wanna talk about a feminine trait? Wearing skin-tight jeans is a fucking feminine trait. Plus, nobody wants to see your damn chicken legs all day, so please do us all a favor and put those things away. And that's all I got for now, guys. Please be sure to like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me some love in the comments down below. Also, if you're interested in online coaching, be sure to shoot me an email at enkiri.elite@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to pass some more info your way. Let the hate ensue, baby. I'll catch you guys next time.